Hey everybody, I'm back. Video 134 of 365. I'm Samantha and I'm a therapist and I'm doing a video every day for a year to get over my fear of public speaking and social anxiety. So thank you for being here with me. Today I thought we would talk about mental diet. And are you on a good mental diet? Are you sticking to it? Or are you changing every time circumstances around you get your goat and make you think about what's going on around you instead of paying attention to what's going on within you? So I thought we would talk about that today. I've got a little quote in my archives. I am assuming this is from Abraham Hicks. It says, begin modulating thought in terms of the way that it feels, rather than in terms of the results that it will net you. The tendency is to flow a little energy and then take score. Well, the problem is, as you flow the energy, the universe responds instantly. But when you take score, you're right back in that reality again. So as I did my research all these years on law of attraction and law of assumption and all of these things, I recognized that I thought about it in terms of like, we're kind of on a roller coaster almost. You're either on a merry-go-round or a roller coaster. I don't know which type of person you are or what you would define your life as. Like, is it a merry-go-round or is it a roller coaster? Comment down below and let me know. Because I thought that was a kind of a fun way to look at it. Fun way to look at it. Because you're either up and down, really high, really low, and then, twists and turns that you didn't know were going to be there. Or you got a pretty even keel, expected type of life, kind of maybe a little boring in some areas. You're just going around in a predictable circle, up and down on the carousel horse. So think about that. Let me know what your life's like down below. But with the roller coaster type of life, I feel like we are totally controlled by our circumstances. And it got me thinking a lot about how they say to, not argue with the mirror, because your reality is your mirror. So let's say we created this mirror around us and we're looking at it and we're mad at it. But if we created it, then why are we paying attention to it so much? And I really started to think about that and solidify that in my mind, especially when it comes to people, when they're not acting the way you want them to act. Or you're not getting that job you wanted to get, or this didn't turn out like you thought it should, this didn't turn out like you thought it would. And so if you don't pay attention to the circumstances, but only for the discovery of where your brain has been, where your mind has been, think about what you've been telling yourself, what you've been expecting, what you've been assuming to be true about you or other people. If you expect something, you're going to get it. So we've got to train ourselves to expect the best. If we don't do that, we're going to get this up and down energy. I call it kind of like a 50-50 energy, like ambivalence. We can't make a decision either way. It's like half the time we feel this way, half the time we feel this way. It's split energy or split in two. And I have a lot of clients and a lot of people I know that they're like, I know I'm this way, but I also feel this way about myself. So they're opposites. Like, I'm this awesome, amazing king or queen. I know my power. I know who I am. But over here, I don't feel worthy or I don't feel good enough. And it just doesn't make sense. It's like, why are we 50-50? So that's when we start to work on the identity shifting and think about, who do you want to become? Because you cannot live in that split energy. And that's what causes the up and down, the roller coaster. And the merry-go-round is kind of the same thing. It's just kind of expecting, not a lot for yourself, maybe. I don't know. I'm more of the roller coaster. So the merry-go-round, the only thing that I would understand about that in my life would be like, just like not really changing in certain areas where I might be bored and like, I felt bored, but I didn't do anything about it. So I think the merry-go-round to me would be kind of like predictable, but yet boring, but yet satisfying in a weird way. Comfortable. It's comforting to be on a carousel. I mean, it's so comfortable. It's very slow, and you're just going up and down, slowly going around and around. It's very predictable and comforting, and that you can look at that as like a comfort zone in a way. But the roller coaster can also be a comfort zone as well, because we get addicted to the highs. And we almost get addicted to the lows too. So, and you don't have to get, high all the time, but it is really nice to kind of have stability. And that's why I like to talk about our foundations so much, because the better foundation that you lay, then you can build some structures on top of that by creating structure. So you can create structures, buildings, houses, whatever you want on your foundation. And so, you could look at it like, I'm creating happiness on this foundation. I'm creating worthiness on this foundation. Anything you want, you can create. And so it starts with, what are you thinking about yourself? What are you expecting from yourself? What are you expecting other people to do? How are you expecting people to treat you? And then you look out into your reality. You look at the mirror and you just kind of do a little check-in. Well, I wonder, how does this look? How does this feel? What's happening? And then if you'll pay attention to all of that, how do I feel? And what is showing up? And just kind of see the patterns there. See if there's any patterns that you can pick up on. And then you go within your internal world, your interior world that is inside yourself. And you notice, okay, and one thing you can do is look at yourself like a signal. You are taking all of your energy and you're sending it out to the universe. You're like a lightning rod. Basically, your whole body's a lightning rod. You're not going to get struck by lightning necessarily, but kind of, because you're going to get these manifestations that come in that might feel like a strike of lightning. So you got to be careful what you're thinking about, and what you're expecting too. But if you're doing it on purpose and you're sending this signal out with intention and with emotion, strong emotion behind it, and an elevated emotion that feels so good when you send it out and you practice this on purpose, that's whenever you see a big change. It's if you look at it like you're going to practice this new way of thinking, and you're going to think on purpose. So there's intention behind it, not just going back to default patterns that were programmed into us a long time ago that we're just so used to and so comfortable with. So you're paying attention to how you're feeling. And if you remember that there's kind of only, like, if we want to simplify again, because I like to simplify, there's either fear or there's love. So which one are you coming from? And if it's not love, then there's some fear there, and it might be speaking to you in some way. So check for like fearful thoughts, scarcity thoughts. There's scarcity or abundance. I just, again, keep it simple. We don't have to go into all the different emotions unless you want to. It's helpful to, Esther Hicks, they have the emotional guidance scale, and it's got 22 different emotions. I think they've added some more on. I've got an updated one that I actually made, so I'll have to share that sometime. But it first had 22 different emotions, and she tells you to figure out which emotion you're on, and then slowly talk yourself up the scale with a sentence that feels a little bit better than the place you were just at. And it's really helpful. I've actually used it with clients in my therapy practice, really, and they loved it. It just really helped them a lot. So if you just notice, like, what feeling am I dominantly in? Is it disappointment? Is it frustration? Is it anger? Is it fear? Just really think about where you're normally, like, dominantly at, and what you vacillate between. Because sometimes we vacillate between, I feel really good, and then I feel angry because that frustrated me, and then, I feel good again. That's that roller coaster. And so if you can just pay attention to, like, unfortunately, it's kind of normal for us humans to be on a roller coaster, which I don't like. I think that shouldn't be normal, but that is kind of how it is, until you realize that you're a deliberate creator. And that means you're not just a creator, you're creating with intention and with a purpose and on purpose. And you're practicing this as a skill that you're going to use your entire life. This isn't just something you learn and then you do it for a while and then you stop. It's something you're going to practice forever, because you can create anything you want with focus. And it's got to be focus, like with no distractions. And so I read a statistic I had in my notes, again, in my archives. I'm actually using them now on these videos. I'm really happy about that. But there was something in there about we check our phones an average of 150 times a day. And so if you think about that, and maybe on purpose, count the amount of times that you check that dang phone, and maybe write down how much time you're spending checking that dang phone. And then like figure out how much time it is a day and look at that. And maybe every time you're about to check your phone, um, instead of doing that, maybe you do like a quick meditation. Close your eyes and say, what is it that I want to feel right now? And what kind of scene, an end scene, what would that scene make me feel? Would that make me feel the way that I want to feel right now? And you just have fun with it, and you, on purpose, distract yourself, disrupt that thought pattern of checking the phone, which we're addicted to, and you become addicted to that good feeling that you can create from inside, and you start practicing that over and over. If you're checking your phone 150 times a day, maybe you need to check it. Maybe we'll say we need to check it 10 times a day, depending on what your job is, of course. Like I have to check mine with my clients a lot. But like there's a lot of times I'll be just checking it for no reason. And I'm like, let's check the weather. And it's a lot of checking. Like, let's check this, let's check this, let's check this. And then you're like, feel better because you got a dopamine rush from that. But what if we created a dopamine rush from just feeling better all the time and going within and creating those scenes that make us feel just a little bit better than we did before we closed our eyes and thought about that thing. And we thought that the phone checking would make us feel better. So that's a little thing that you can practice just to kind of get your mind in the goal of deliberately creating things versus letting things just happen, because life is happening through us and it's not happening to us. And if you look at your world as a mirror, because this is what I really it solidified in my brain finally, was if I'm creating everything around me, then why am I upset about any of it if I did it? And of course, this could be a whole other video on like the victim blaming and things like that. There's a lot of things that people could argue, like, well, I didn't choose abuse and I didn't, there's all these things. I'm just going to talk about mostly just like for fun, we're checking and we're looking, and like if there's a rude person, something kind of more lighthearted than the harder stuff, that could be another video. But I'm talking about like maybe a cashier that was rude to you. Just kind of laugh at it, be like, I wonder why that showed up in my life. Or if somebody was really nice to you, I wonder why that showed up. That's pretty cool. So you just kind of like get curious about what you're seeing and say, if I did that, then I wonder why. I wonder how that happened. And I like to look for what songs come on when I get in the car. That's really interesting. What license plates I see. I love seeing the repeating numbers, like the angel numbers. I love seeing just symbols that remind me of certain things. People's names pop up, different cars that I see. There's just like lots of symbols that I have for my life. And I love to look for them outside whenever, like especially times when I'm not supposed to even be out and I just randomly am out for an errand or something. And I see something like a license plate that says exactly what I've been thinking, or it's just so weird how things happen. But we say it's weird, but it's really us creating it. And so it's fun to look around and say, I wonder why that showed up, and just have fun with it and play the game with yourself. And don't argue with the mirror, because if you change internally, your external world will change. And I was talking to a client earlier about how they're not very attracted to eating meat anymore. And I was like, I told you so. Like, it just kind of happens after EMDR is done. And we're shifting our identity, like manifestation type of stuff. As you shift your identity, you're not attracted to the same things or people or events or anything anymore. It kind of just shifts a little bit in certain areas that you weren't expecting. So when you love yourself truly and you start to practice that internal worthiness, and you know that the circumstances around you never, ever, ever matter whatsoever, you can bend them by the next day even. I mean, I've done it multiple times. I mean, hundreds of times. I've seen evidence, and that's why I love talking about this, because I've had so much success in so many areas that is just unbelievable. And I hope you get the same results, and I know and intend you can too. You just have to practice it. It's just a deliberate practice. Find out, okay, where's my signal going right now? Just every second be like, okay, I want to clean up and purify my signal. I need to feel just a little bit better, or I've got to create that feeling. And remember, you can't go, here's the thing, it's very difficult to go from complete powerlessness to feeling powerful. I get it. Like there's too much of a gap there. And Esther Hicks, they'll say like, If you're going 100 miles an hour, you're going to hit a tree, and your car is going to be way worse than it would be hitting it at like 1 mile an hour. So that's momentum. There's a lot of momentum behind 100 miles an hour. So we got to start slowing down a little bit. So it makes the hitting the tree, or hopefully missing the tree, a lot easier for us. So that's why they came up, I think, with that emotional scale. You just kind of go up the scale just a little bit better. And when I say try to generate a feeling from inside that is even just 1% better than you were just feeling, that will help too. So it primes your energy, it primes your frequency. And, or you can just decide to change who you are right now, actually. Some people can do that. It's possible. Whatever we think is possible for us. Keep that in mind. This can be as easy or as hard as we want to make it. And so just have fun with it. Smile, laugh, have fun. Let me know if you're on a merry-go-round or a roller coaster or something else. Maybe there's something else I haven't thought of. I'm sure there are many other different types of lives that we all have. So let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this, please smeesh the like button. And if you think somebody might benefit from this, please share it with them and check out my other videos. I've got 133 other videos other than this one, and about 14 meditations that you can check out. If you're into EMDR therapy, there's some meditations that you can pop on that have the bilateral stimulation, left ear, right ear, back and forth. And yeah, I think that's about it. I do offer coaching if anyone's interested. I need to start mentioning that. I offer coaching. I'm going to end up probably opening up a membership at some point. I'll end up doing some lives finally. I'm getting some things together in the background. But with taking care of clients and writing my dissertation and just life, I'm trying to get it all together. And we'll see what happens in the next few weeks for sure with all this. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day and have fun practicing changing your frequency. You're the signal. You're creating everything. Just remember that. And you got this. And I will see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.